Researchers are building organoids that are capable of physical sensation. Yes, the tiny human brains that you can grow in a literal jar if you want to. They're hooking them up to a spinal cord and giving them a nervous system. Now, in case you're new to this topic, yes, those are tiny human brains. You can take a stem cell and you can grow it into a miniature version of a human brain. Clearly, it's not going to have the capacity that a human brain has, but it is getting better, and researchers are trying to build models of human beings. At the same time, many researchers are calling for ethical oversight because there is virtually none in this field. This is one of two companies, Cortical and Final Spark, that are selling out brain servers. Yes, lab-grown human brains that can do computation. There's a number of reasons why you'd want to do this. And you can even use a biological computer. Yes, a brain organoid integrated computer. You could have it at home if you really wanted to. Those two fields are biomed and computation, and they are intertwined because you can use computation to determine what a brain organoid is doing under different circumstances, and that is incredibly valuable to research. For the first time ever, we have a human model using human tissue that does not require a human, and it is significantly more like us than, say, a mouse, but it still lacks an integrated system, which is why people are combining them with other kinds of organoids. In this one, they gave brain organoids a miniature spinal cord. Now, when you communicate with brain organoids, so if you have them run a video game, for example, and yes, people did find that they're capable of goal-directed learning, which is pretty much as close to the concept of want or desire that you could get from an organoid. But this kind of research applies to biomed. It's been applied to things like Alzheimer's because you can see how they behave and how they're capable of learning under different circumstances, and that is a really great way to find candidate medications. But so far, that communication has been limited to electric shocks. They seem to like ordered electrical signals and dislike random signals. They don't like being shocked randomly. But giving them a sensory pathway that makes them capable of responding to physical stimuli is a lot more similar to human sensation. I mean, let's not sugarcoat it. It is human sensation. In this paper, they hooked up a human brain organoid to a human heart organoid, a little blob connected to a blob, but they are able to monitor the neural pathways between the heart and the brain. This could be done with any system. We have the ability to isolate organs with brains and how they interact with each other, which is a huge advancement. It cuts out the middleman. You are reducing variables. Yes, they are incredibly valuable tools, and yes, some researchers have claimed sentience. That was the organoid Pong one, because they're capable of learning and growing and having a preference. So in terms of sentience, the capacity to have an experience, some would say yes, but that is hotly debated. I mean, just in terms of intuitive understanding of what a brain is, they are little blobs. They are little subunits of what could have been a brain, but are instead a blob. Nonetheless, this field is developing really rapidly, and there are global efforts to make the best assembloid, to make the best model of a human being. We try to weigh potential harm with potential benefits in science, and trying to make miniature human beings has a great potential for harm. We don't want to deny that these things can have an experience and find out much later when we've created much more complex organoid systems that they're actually suffering. I also think it's important to say that I don't think this is how we're going to get real artificial intelligence. I mean, we can talk about quantum, and there's some very cool papers coming out about scaling that to a robot. But for organoids, I think their value is going to be entirely within biomed. Maybe they will inform us about the developing human brain so we can build better robot brains using synthetic analog human neurons and crafting that into a brain that we can get logic out of. So, do you think that the ethics changes if a brain organoid can have a physical sensation in the way that we do, or is that just the same as communicating with them with electric pulses? Even if you're on the reductionist side, it makes me a little bit uncomfortable.